Hello, dears. Join me. Let me know if you can hear me well as you come in. Please do come in and let me know if you can hear me well or not. Again, thank you for joining. Those who are looking for the higher alignment, and those who are snakes in the process of blocking those who are on their journeys. For those of you who are on a higher journey, do yourself a favor. Come in, hit the like button, join the conversation if necessary. Think about things with your aligned mind and not the one they wish to tell you you have to think by. You are not your thoughts. They are your thoughts. They have embedded themselves into your knowledge. So they are giving you bits and pieces, but never without pieces of themselves that you can depart from. How are you all doing? How is your darkness? I find it to be a beautiful evening, and my darkness is wonderful. I'm just basking in it, if that's what you could consider it. And for a lot of people, they don't understand the real positivity and sereneness that comes with understanding your darkness, and why those of us who are put here with the correct darkness can always use it to cover ourselves and to shine whenever we need to. And only your tethers and your snakes are the only people who try to get in your way of your karma And your karma is a birthright that they do not have. So attaching to you is necessary because they feel as though if they can't have your karma, neither can you. And that is the mentality you need to understand when it comes to why certain people are desperate and desperately attempting to redirect your focus at a time where the veil has been lifted for many, many years, at least 30 to 40 years. But the ancestors that have come back to collect specific species are collecting bits and pieces of the species they haven't mutated out into tainted bloodlines. And only very few spirits in those bloodlines have inherited the gifts, the love, the community, the power, enough to see when divinity is talking to them directly. And for those who reject divinity, they wish to mock it. And God shall not be mocked. A lot of people have accepted the deal with the devil. And that deal is having everlasting life that you may never rest. Who would want a life of living forever in a world that only gets worse without something greater giving you rest from someone else's prison in their mind? Imagine getting in the way of beings that simply wish to get rid of your obstacles, and most of your obstacles come through people. Most animals don't bother you. Most of the time, no matter what the weather does, you're still protected. You can still sleep through the night when it rains and storms and snows and all of the above. So why would you be scared of everything that comes above the explanation of weather and things that hold power, that you hold power of? Again, peace be still, because only few people have ancestors who come to avenge you. Your blood, the fact that they want to conjure you and keep you conjured forever until they breed you out of existence. You're in a world that literally believes light is right, even if the light is falsely shined upon the people considering themselves the higher lights or the highest lights. They'd rather be a star on the streets they created than a star in the essence of parallels that actually exist. Very few people will understand how divinity comes to collect you from those who never valued you, but they know that your promise was far greater than theirs ever would be, could be. And to this day, many people are still confused about who is their traitor, who is their snake. For those of you who understand, join. How are you? How have you been? If interested, let me know in the chat if you'd like to know the origins of ancestry and where your bloodline falls in the war of gods. Regardless of what people think, There are gods at every level. Many people just have forgotten their history purposely because the longer you create generations, the further your history gets away from you, and the more they add their webbed in lives to overshadow your true light. It is your memory. Anything that keeps you from remembering the day before, the day before, the day before, the day before. It is your enemy. For understanding the days before is what helps you prepare for the days ahead. And because there is nothing new under the sun, a lot of your oath breakers are addicted to using your own intelligence against you, your own divinity, your own wisdom, your own visions, your own gifts. Shall we talk a little bit more about the darkness and why so many people pretend to be afraid of it, but really they know the darkness has never covered them? For a lot of people, they like to believe that darkness is something that only kids can be scared of. But I think a lot of people forget that most adults that you are up against when it comes to destiny swapping and different things are nothing more than kids who copy what you do. So past a certain level, your darkness will never be inviting to them because the child in them scares them away from the truth. What's really there? They can only see what they want to see based on the perception of childhood they're stuck in. And you're more than welcome to join the conversation. There's no need to stick around only to regurgitate your curses and switch them, because a lot of people come here proving to you that their main goal is to reverse with your divine alignment is showing you to be so. How has your darkness been treating you? It lets you know what side of the darkness you're really on in accordance to your ancestors and your original species, at least the ones who come to collect those who are closer or the closely aligned to remember. Remembering is the first step. Allowing yourself to grieve once you do is always the second. Very few will remember. Think about your reasoning for wanting to remember, and then remember that most people are trying to remember thoughts to block you and give your enemy passage to attack you with your memories. They put themselves at the root of remembering for you on your behalf. They never let you use your own recollection. This is something you need to think about deeply. Why does it happen to you that way? Why are they so determined with thinking for you on your behalf? It's because they know if you think enough, you will think yourself into a reality they cannot tailgate you into. And the biggest thoughts you have, usually no one knows about those thoughts because there's not usually enough people around you who have a mind big enough to process the thoughts you're having. Yes or no? And again, understand snakes are always in your midst listening, which is why regardless of how much truth you speak, their goal is to take you down because it is the truth that they envy. And if the truth is in you, you are the spirit they will envy. They are more worried about numbers and followers. But truth keeps those who are walking in it abundant, regardless of who sees you as worthy of being followed. Does that make sense? Do tell. Oh no. Let's make it better. There we go. We'll keep it down a bit. Hello. So, I ask you, can you hear me well? Can you not hear me well? Whether you are a snake, a tether, or a chosen bloodline, please do come in, hit the like button, because past a certain point, only the divine will rise right in your presence, and the divine will make sure you are a footstool to those who are meant to be above you. So, again, for those who are gifted beyond the veil, for those who are gifted and able to walk in their darkness in truth without shame, without weariness, without regurgitation. Again, the best part about being spiritual, about being gifted, about being lifted, is the fact that your knowledge will not be the same as those who do not have the same path as you. And you will always know people who are imitating because you've always heard what they're saying somewhere else first, because they are a grapevine of thoughts. And whatever thoughts seem to be at the highest level of understanding are the thoughts they seem to regurgitate the most. Meaning, most people know who their demons are. A lot of people keep them close. A lot of people also know who to play with and who not. But in the end, only people who know they will die forever like to play with the ancestors and things they know have always forsaken them. For many, your darkness protects you. But for those who have ill will, those who have a long history of being cursed, their only goal right now at this moment is to keep those with a divine promise away from their divine knowledge. So, for those who do understand what I'm saying, please do stick around. For the snakes, please do stick around because your comprehension will never align. You're not smart enough to, you're not wise enough to, and you're still not chosen, no matter how many views you get off of lying. Also, for those who don't understand, you are going to watch most of your snakes pass away within the next 3 to 5 years. And for many of you, it's going to be the next 3 to 5 months. Why? Because they are playing a dangerous game, pretending that who they are mocking and intending to mock is human. See, it's one thing to mock your favorite celebrity, and it's one thing to mock your mother and your cousin and your bestie from school, but it's another thing to mock ancient spirits that do not see you worthy to even speak to. And a lot of people know when you're not speaking to them, which is why they are always drifting in spaces that do not align with their lineage. But because they are forcing their curses upon you, they pretend that riding the same wind as you puts them closer to your promise or the divine coming to collect them by accident. And many of them know that they are cursed regardless of what they regurgitate, which is why they have no conscience in their regurgitation. And again, I want to make you guys dreadfully aware. A lot of the people that join my chat and repeat certain things are nothing more than demons that wish they could collect, but they don't have enough power to. So they can only collect words and regurgitate them. Words that also have no power because they were given to you by a low-level demon whose words have never had power. One thing about the English language, it did not come first. It came last, and it is still present because the language before is what they keep you from knowing. Only people who are real polyglots can help you when it comes to understanding your essence of survival and divinity. And people who are put here in undivine bodies, meaning you have to have an ability to get out of this body in order for you to gain divine knowledge. It's much deeper than astral projection. It is a true darkness that you must rest in, that you must leave this earthly form and dwell with your higher self. Meaning, if you do not know every inside of your body, if you do not understand your nervous system, if you do not understand the nerves that actually connect your senses into existence, you will never ever be able to say you are divine. And most people who are truly divine are gifted beyond the human realm. Meaning, there are things only you could do that people will say, this is strange. How can you do that with your fingers? How can you do that with your eyes? Why does your ears move? Why does this do this? Why does, yes, I don't care what they have taught you. Over time, even as children, you have watched so many people do things that are odd to you, but you know not everyone can do them. This is why they ask you, are you left handed? Are you right handed? Are you this? Are you that? They are forever learning you. They know what it means if you are more inclined with your left hand or your right hand. They know if you have night vision or not. The people who say, oh, we have no idea. Okay, a lot of people have lovely night vision. The difference is, for the last 20 to 40 years, they have been giving you objects of extreme light sensation that has redirected your light sense. It is that simple. Therefore, the bombarding of light takes away your understanding of darkness. It makes your natural consciousness repel it because you know not what is there. The light has replaced your knowledge of the darkness, which is why they're always bombarding you with lights. But for a lot of you, your ancestors come from darkness, meaning you do not need eyes to see. You were able to sense much deeper than the eyes could see, which is why for many people, it doesn't matter what you see, the things that hold you in amazement and charm and trance are your sound vibrations. Meaning, I don't care what something looks like. If you like the sound of it enough, you will follow it. You are sound sonars, not just souls. You are sonars. It is a difference. For people who are true sonars, you also have the gift of rhythm, meaning you can clap on beat, you can follow any rhythm and mimic it. Not only that, you were made to hear rhythms for miles and miles and miles, but you are able to process them differently than people who do not have this sensation of rhythm. Meaning, for some people, the only thing that calms them is the combination of rhythms they do not understand, which makes them appear to be off their rocker. Okay, but for those who understand the concept of rhythm and merge with it on a sensory level, the only thing left for you to do is merge with the vibrations you hear. For many people, they are not able to merge with the vibrations. For those who are able to merge, you have to understand what has really been added to those vibrations for you to understand them. Half truths, half rhythms, so on and so forth. But only you can get out of your head enough to see which rhythms actually irritate your demons and which ones are inviting new ones in. Again, music is not made for you to resist it. You are supposed to know the rhythm that is being sang to you. But because they have called rhythms talking, a lot of people are confused about the vibrations they are regurgitating. They are not talking. Talking is not allowed in hell. It is people who are rhythmless who have taken the rhythm away from their words. Therefore, they are matter of fact, meaning they are a matter of lies because they cannot understand your rhythm of speaking. Never have, never will. And to this day, they are mimicking your rhythm of speaking so that you think they are on board or willing to be on board with the alignment your ancestors are going to give you, but your ancestors are going to give you alignment through changing the language that you speak. Therefore, they will be watching your lips move and not understand a word that is coming out. And if need be, we will silence their senses so that they cannot understand what you are saying amongst yourselves. Again, they will be your footstools, and they know this. The process has been this for a long time. And for people who are still blocking the ancestors, you can't. You can only pretend to. For people who know they are your tethers, they know they come from the dry desert. But for those who know their real divine ancestry, you would already understand that they were placed in the desert. And the water that is alive changed the map for you while they were trapped in the desert. You were brought to a new land. You were allowed to ride the wind. You were able to walk on water. You were able to go to depths their souls were too dark and decrepit to ever think they could go to without their breath being taken. You are the chosen birthright, and they hate you for it. Your darkness is what they despise because their darkness forsakes them. That's why they're afraid of it. For those who know their darkness is a beautiful delight, they walk into the darkness proudly because what is in their darkness is the same thing they are hiding from your light. Truth. Truth is a beautiful thing because only truth will keep you from breaking deals with the devil that are not made to be broken. Only truth can make you realize which direction is correct. And it's not left or right. This is about going up or down. And they will forever confuse you about directions because they are directionless. Whichever way they need to attack you from, they will attack you. And they will attack you in unison. We are water creatures. Do you know what happens when bigger creatures try to attack smaller fish in the water? I'll tell you. Those fish gather and they make a whirlpool. And that whirlpool causes confusion to the entity looking to attack it. And just like that, you form your own protection by coming together against things that end up blurring their vision, trying to single you out. They can't because you're in alignment. And for a lot of people, your ancestors are not putting you in alignment, they are putting you out of the darkness you have forsaken and keep forsaken because you want to be a part of a light you know does not shine on you the same way it does everyone else. Again, if the light shines on you and it has not burnt you, you are golden. You are made to be golden. And both sides of your enemies are still rejecting the fact that darkness is the most beautiful thing you could ever be covered in. But it's the particular type of darkness. It is golden. It's a reason why certain people keep trying to imply that darkness is inclusive. Darkness is not inclusive. I don't care what type of white you are. I don't care what type of Hispanic, Canadian, whatever you are. Most people will let you know they are not the same type of white. So why would darkness not be any different? There are levels to darkness just like there are levels to light. And most people who know that their light and white has rejected them always try to go and create a darkness that is not for them to create, which is what makes you be pushed out of your darkness and understanding of it because they are imitating and walking in it and pretending in it, which makes you afraid to go into your own darkness, not realizing the darkness you go into is not theirs. They could never come into your darkness. Your ancestors are too great for that. They could never uncover the truth to eternal life. They are undead. They cannot pass away. They want you to be a part of their curse. In order to be a part of their curse, you have to understand their words completely, mind, body, soul. Which is why, if you understand 2 plus 2, it's because their logic is programmed into you. If you understand how to count, if you understand literacy on a high level, you can understand divinity on a high level. The difference is most people don't take the time to understand They give their higher divine understanding and alignment, meaning once you put things together, the first thing people do is come on the internet and they try to make people of all denominations or look at them as if they're smart. These are your serpentines. They are not here to understand your divinity. They are here to wrap themselves in it and push you away from the places you need to be gathering in unison to protect yourself from the attack they're going to do to each one of you as they get you alone. Every time snakes have a chance to be unpredictable, they do. Every time they see you taking the higher road and they're not invited, they mask themselves in your skin. They literally take the stage and say things to you directly to pretend they are on the same path as you. Well, we came from here too. We went through this, we went through that. People who went through certain things will not have a disdain against you understanding your higher truth, even if it is not biblical. Why? Because being biblical means you are still buying the lies that they are giving you. If they can hide behind the biblical, okay, it is not for you. It's the things they can't hide behind that keeps them from being seen. It is your darkness. Again, imagine pretending you care about vampires and werewolves and this and that. You're gothic, you're emo. Well, why don't you like black people? I'll tell you why. Because it is not the black people they are trying to imitate or knock off. It is the golden people, the indigenous people. And a lot of people are still pretending this comes in all colors. White doesn't come in all colors, neither will darkness. And it is not the darkest type of black. The darkest type of black are she devils. They were burnt so that you can tell them the difference. They are of the desert. The desert burns and the desert absorbs both fire and water, which lets you know they are the snake and they are unpredictable. You are not the same. For those who are chosen, your birth roots will always have water in the air. Without water being in the air, you would be dead. This is what they call humidity. Without those who are chosen being in humidity, you will not be the same creature you are that allows you to thrive in the only place they can't, the swampy areas, your graves. Most of you never leave your graves. They are the very things that tie you to the ancestors that come back looking for you. Once you leave those roots, most of the divine that come looking for you look at you as unfamiliar because you've left your protection. Not only did you leave your protection, you go to places where they take the humidity out of the air. And that alone is a dangerous thing to do when you are of the water. Again, a lot of people hate to hear the truth, but I don't care who loves their snakes more than their earth angels. That is a very much you problem. The earth, still to this day, is 70 to 80% water. But if you want me to let you in on a little secret, the earth is about 90% water, 10% everything else. Why would you be scared of knowing about the water? And why would you trust your enemy telling you about what's in it, what they're for? Again, something has caused you to blink. If you are in your correct essence, which is water, you never have to blink. You always see things coming. You still rest. You still get everything you need in that water. Your communities are all in the same place thriving. They call it an ecosystem, but it's not an ecosystem. It is the womb, and you are in the belly of the beast, which is why you always feel things that you would never feel when you were in water. They do not transfer the same feelings, and the curse was being put on land and taken away from something that had everything you need already in it. And the people who caused you to come here, they conjured you. They conjured you because you have a traitor, and your traitor was placed in the desert. You were given a new map. You were able to use your superpowers to separate yourself from their deceit and their betrayal, and only one creature came double headed and put that very traitor in your midst. And to this day, that traitor is trying to have kids with you. That traitor is crying about slavery, but they weren't the ones who went through slavery. They are the ones who came here willingly. And to this day, they are happy to tap dance for the white man. And anybody the white man calls their favorite, they are aligned with because they have always been your betrayers. I don't care if it's Godfrey, I don't care if it's Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, Shaka Khan. All of your favorite celebrities are sellouts to themselves, which is why you think your darkness is scary. They cannot serve two masters. They are serving what they call an umbrella of pagan rituals. There's no such thing as a pagan, just thieves who put everything they steal spiritually under the umbrella of calling it pagan. Again, pay, gone. Okay? You're going to pay goon regardless of what the hell you call it. Okay? Again, this place is not called Earth. It's called the Nile. If you don't know what the Nile is, they tell you there's things like synonyms and antonyms. Well, you have the Nile River, and you also have something they call denial. Denial, 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 denial. They are interchangeable to heathens who are playing with your wind. And the only way they can help you be cursed with them is to take your tongue and teach you everything you know with it, the power of life and death. But for those who are cursed, and pretending they can take your karma, we will cut out their tongues, and they will never feel them again. For the only thing that will come out of their mouth will be silence, the dead kind. For the things that have their tongues and use them in a way that flicks to talk are of the serpentine. Things that are of great essence do more than flick their tongues to get the wind in the air. Again, all of you are usually of a different serpentine because they have mixed down your species so low in value, you have become mortal. You are a mortal snake against yourself based on nothing more than the wind they have taught you and called English. How cute. But if you understand there's English, you understand there's Old English. You understand there was languages before English. Again, imagine being so close to the same continent and they keep telling you that you speak a different language than all of the other people who are close to you in essence. Imagine them telling you you share a language with someone who is not on your continent, but the people who are connected to you. We have North America and then we have South America. It's still America, correct? So why would you be in one end of America speaking English and the other Negroes are on the other side speaking another language? And in between them, those Negroes are speaking a different language. Meanwhile, they tell you that you share a language with someone all the way on another continent called Africa. So I share a language with people in Africa, but not the ones who are in America too. I don't care if you call it South America, they're all Latin America. And where the fuck are the Latins? Oh, that's right. Latin is a what language? Because they have killed your spirit. They have killed your knowledge. They will continue to kill your knowledge for the next 2 generations until you are deceased. And when you are almost there at being deceased, they are going to rain havoc on the rest of you who are left. And you will start breeding with any and everything just to say you are able to find a child. A child's laughter is going to feel like rain in the desert to you very soon. Why? Because you're going to have your generations removed for years of following the snake and repeating it as a grapevine. You are the grapevine. You are the choir that never stops singing his dreadful lies. Name one thought you have that he haven't given you. Name one animal he hasn't told you the name of. Name one part of the world he hasn't renamed and told you what it is, and when you speak to him, he expects you to regurgitate the knowledge he has given you. But if you were to reinterpret your own knowledge, the way you see the world, the way you feel it, you would understand you were never made to see the way he sees. You have split vision. They do not. You have night vision. They do not. You have excessive speed. They do not. You have excessive strength. They do not. You come from a much bigger species, and in the water, you need weight. Real definition of get your weight up. Do you really think the world is mostly water because you come from land? Land is your curse. And one day, the land will be taken again. And we're not talking about Noah's Ark, because if you were prepared for Noah's Ark, you would have already built that boat. But because that ship has sank, you don't understand. You were never made to be on the boat. There will be no reason for you to be on the boat if you understand you come from under the water. They have to tread over the water. You do not. Why do you think most people, especially in Black America, are scared of water? Or they only go in places that go to a certain level of feet? You are made to go deeper. You can hold your breath longer. You are quicker. Things in the water respect you differently. For those of you who remember, for those of you who don't remember, the water takes you and it never releases you because you don't remember. And water never forgets a thing. Water is your memory. Water is everything. Nothing was here before the water. Only something of the fire, not your fire, the fake fire, the light bringer, the light they created to walk through darkness with, because it is their curse, not yours. You are dark because you come from the greater light. And for them, you are their constant reminder that they cannot die and go to the light, but only the darkness they refuse to address and put in its proper alignment. It is not as above, so below. It is as below, so the damn above. Which is why when you die, they put you under things. They either cremate you, fire, or they put you into the ground, dry. But you are made to be in water because water holds memory forever. Most of you have not been remembered for generations. Only very few of you are remembered, and it's only because the water claims you before your entire generation is forgotten. Many of the people you think are missing are not missing, they have been found. And many of them don't want to be unfound, which is why they're not. The earth holds memory as well. But if the spirits want to be forgotten by the earth, they come into the water and they enjoy being free. If the land remembers you, you are stuck. This is why they won't even let you have your body. This is why they tell you, oh, we study mummies, and no, they disrespect and desecrate your soul. They take out glands that were made to be inside of your body forever. They dispose of you in ways the water would never allow any part of you to not be of value. In other words, you're never forgotten. You're always with love. There's every part of you belongs to something else. You come from the water, you return to the water. They are fire children of the desert. They absorb whatever they need to. Sand is neutral. They are of the sand, which is why we left them across the desert. Who brought them across the desert? The same people they come here and tap dance for. They mock them for mocking themselves. They don't mock you, which is why the image of hatred is a very darker skinned person. They forget you went through the fire many times and you could never get to the water. We just send you back to the dry places again because you are the snake. And again, snakes are unpredictable. The divine are not. There's no reason to be unpredictable when you are certain of who you are, where you come from, and the species you come from. They have made you less than a god, and they mock you for it, which is why they call you human. Now you are humane. Now you seek the fire, Holy Ghost, speaking in tongues instead of understanding. The tongues you need to speak are the languages of your brothers and sisters in nearby places, not the faraway ones. But there's no need for you to be speaking to other tribes when the tribes that are within themselves have not come together. That would be a disaster. This is why when people go places like Brazil or Colombia, different places, they're shocked at how they're received. You can't go places expecting to be received when you have not first received yourself and in great ascension. Meaning, you have to be a community of yourself before you go anywhere as a collective and people respect you for who you are in ancestry. They have split up your ancestry, given it to different parts of yourself. Language is how you bridge the gap. No such thing in speaking in tongues. Speaking in stupidity would be more the term to call it, because there's no need to pretend you're speaking a language when the ones that exist for you to bridge the gap are nothing more than you taking the time to position yourself and learn and bridge that gap. Understand what words would mean what. Understand the time and technology you have is abundant. It is for a reason. They have to give you the most resources to be able to understand your power during the war. Most people are not preparing for the war. They are simply trying to teach the enemy what they think they know about the war. The enemy is looking to take you out and smiling in your face. And most people are listening to divine knowledge, divine wind, and going back and saying, hey, look, algorithm, look how stupid I am. I'm going to tell you something I put together that only a divine one of my lineage would understand and put together. Just like that, your undivine start attacking you. With your own divineness, it becomes undivine. Why? Because you chose to give your enemy the playing book. And this is not a game for us. It is very much serious. It is very much this is your sink or swim moment. You have already denounced the ability to swim. Most of y'all are walking on fire, not water. And for those who are walking on water, it's because Jesus is telling you you refuse to understand what's underneath that water and why the hell he's so scared to go under it if it's not in the name of the Father, the Son, and what? Some Holy Spirit. But that Holy Spirit is deceit, denial. Again, things that are divine don't die, they live forever. Names are not meant to live forever, the spirit is. If a spirit dies and has to be brought back, it is not coming back from a good place. Have you ever seen Pet Cemetery? Have you ever seen Jason? When have you ever seen something come back from the dead? In a bad energy, die a horrible death, and come back nice. Only your ancestors could come back with a vengeance, because they're just angry. We've been awoken. Rest is a beautiful thing, because peace be still. It is those who are trapped in the minds of beings that don't exist that we come to collect. Imagine being in the mind of something that does not exist. You are in the void. You've been in the void a long time. It was your punishment for forgetting who you are and where you come from, in the water that remembers everything for you. You wouldn't have to give your breath to things because you were not giving breath. You come here through water, and every time you get here, it reminds you you don't need air to breathe. How the hell do you think your babies stay inside of you so long? It is the creatures of air who have merged with you. You are the shell in the water. They need your pearl to insert it with their insemination parasites and create what they call humanes. They have been doing this since the beginning of time, and they have bred you in to your enemies. And they call it, look, there's different types of black. Look, light skin, dark skin. No. Only golden people are chosen. The rest of them are either aligned with the whiteness that helped create them or the darkness that proves they were burnt because they rejected your light. And to this day, and the days they always will live, it will be their darkness competing with what they see as golden. But for them, they see you as a bright light. I don't care what you think. This is the light skin, dark skin war. This is the isms. All of the isms stem back to people who use light against darkness for their own success or for your own torture. Imagine saying that for certain species, the darkness is their gothic place, their emo place. They put on robes, they dance around, but they still can't tell you what's in the ocean, can they? Do you know how many times they've shown you the same spots in the ocean just during different seasons? And in different seasons, different species migrate to different parts of the water. So, of course, they look different depending on how empty that part of the water is. But they only show you the same parts over and over. For if they go too far, we will drown them. Drowning is not a good feeling. Do you know what drowning feels like? You think fire is hot? No, fire is very forgiving. Drowning feels like breathing fire. It is their death. And drowning is a burning sensation, especially when it is putting out your false light. It's like dropping them into electricity through their water. Of course, it's going to shock you, but the electromagnetic being you come from has already been instilled electricity, even in the water. Why do you think so many people pretend they understand elements? Well, if you understand elements, the only way you're able to exist is because you have electromagnetic charge and you have enough water in you to keep that charged at all times. You keep your spot lit. Again, your light doesn't project from the outside in. The only reason you can see your shadow is because the light in you reflects out. Your eyes are like a projector screen, so the light is inside of you. It is darkness around you that they have given false light to that makes you forget. It is not as above, so below. You are walking through the valley of the shadows of death. It is dark here. You would know that if they did not give you false light every time the dawn breaks to give you rest. It is us who give you rest. It is us who make sure that the light they are trying to place in your water in replacement of you does not overtake your spirit. It is us that gives you the memory. Okay, this is why they tell you drink your water. Okay, yes, because for some of you, you are nothing more than the energy flow. And instead of you attracting your own energy flow, they are collecting it before you receive your overflow and abundance. And then saying, you're just mad because I did this. No. If it was not for your flow from the water, it is not a damn thing they would be able to flow to themselves. They know this. They are telling you that you come from the water. And when they tell you that they walk on water, they are telling you you are their doormat. But it's only because you are refusing to believe you are everything they're not. Your divineness separates you. You have been given the gift to change realities with your spiritual gifts. In other words, there's not one part of your community you can't heal with your gift. For those who have the gift of eyesight, your art is going to make them see things that only your art can make them see and put together. It is not for you to share with your enemies and your snakes. It is for you to gather amongst yourself and create new knowledge that they cannot taint nor collect. This is why a lot of people don't understand the only words of knowledge that people who go against divine people use are his words. You wouldn't know what number goes with what if he didn't tell you. 7 times 2 could be 22. 6 times 8 could be, you wouldn't know. He has given you all of your understanding. Past it, you understand nothing. Only beings who are divine can come and make you re-question everything that he has told you in lies. But his lies are so minuscule, so pathetic. It's almost embarrassing when you align and realize how long it took you to undo his fathom of understanding. Again, children who are stuck in the phase of being children and looking to them for advice is treachery in itself. And the reason why, as adults, you're always dealing with childish situation is because their God is a disgruntled child. Mentally, that is. Body wise, it is old, decrepit, because it is youth it wishes to steal, which is why it has an obsession with your children. Your children are being fed to these monsters and these serpentines like never before. And a lot of you guys are spending more time trying to read the room on your black mirror than understanding your younger generation dies. You will never have a chance to ride the wind or break free from what they have put you in as a prison. It is a mental prison. It is a lineage prison. Being human is a curse. I don't care what they tell you. They're always trying to show you Lord of the Rings and Chronicles of Narnia and all these movies that show you are able to communicate with things beyond humanoids. They are not. They are programmed to destroy. It doesn't matter what type of animal or species it is. They are parasites. They wish to merge with it smexually. And they will always try smexually. Even if it fails, they will go and go again They will breed out the genetics until they're able to breed with it and create a parasite that is strong enough to take over that energy. Again, someone implied they understood Star Trek, and in Star Trek, they have something that's attached to their noggins. But the thing that is attached to their noggins thinks for them. And that is what they have in their vistio-ocular tube, is a parasite. And for the people who think just like them, for the people who wish to gain divine knowledge only to regurgitate to the parasite, you are just like the black people in the movie Sinners. Once they have you hooked, you are the only thing that could use to, persuade people that look like you. Look at me, I'm on this side. Look how life has been for me. Don't you think I look wonderful? Don't you? Why are you over there still? I thought I was your brother. I thought I was your cousin. They have named reasons for you to stay on a certain side. But none of these people can die for you, including Jesus. That is their major joke. They're always telling you someone else has died for you. They have not. They cannot die. They need you to die so that they can live. They have never died. They just keep coming back, and there's usually more of them. When there's not more of them, it's because you are not getting through the veil, and that is dangerous when your bloodlines are almost extinct. Imagine when your seeds of new cannot get through the veil because there are too many people serving two masters, and you have transformed into beings that cannot receive divine messages. Your senses don't work. You've never been in enough water. You don't give your sacrifices to the water. What are your sacrifices? Your time, your understanding. The same time and understanding you put into understanding how to glue down a wig. The same understanding you give to trying to understand fake literacy that's perverted knowledge. The same amount of attention you give to dumbass entertainment. If it's entertaining you, it's entering you so it can contain you, keep you content with unfocusment. That is what it's doing. So I ask you, what type of fool will get in the way of their own ancestors coming to move your demons, your tethers, your snakes out of your way, and you still choose to spit at your ancestors and worship the snake if it isn't a parasite? Look around you and see how many people are still trying to give the parasite divine essence and lineage because they are letting you know their allegiance is to the parasite and the false light. They are okay walking the valleys of death, but they're not okay walking the shadows. They're scared of their darkness. When you have done what you are here to do in destiny, when you are being the light you are put here to be, you are not scared to walk through the darkness or teach people about the truth that lies in it. The amount of people who don't understand you were made to go to the depths. They cannot go because their air literally disseminates before they even get a chance to cough it up. They can't even get to the surface because we snatch their air right at the dam bottom. Where do you think you're going? Take your ass back up there and breathe what you said was your greatness. Dry air. That's why they need so much water. But that is their curse. Imagine joining them in their own curse. That's why you only have a certain amount of breaths before you die. It wouldn't be that way if you forgot where you come from. Again, they have you fearing the very thing that protects you. Again, what would life be without water? The main things they say you need are what? Food, water, shelter, right? Why would you need so much water? What type of creature would need water to survive when there's a whole ego system that knows it's so great that no man deserves to be in it, and not for a long time? Why do you think they're so busy destroying your water? Because they know by the time they're on fire, they need to be in the air because the water is ready to put out the fire. But at that point, the water holds memory. It will be looking for the people who destroyed the land. Where do you think most of them are trying to go? You think they're trying to go underground? No, they're not. They're trying to go to a different planet. And for some of them, they have succeeded on finding different rocks outside of this particular system. But for them, they have conjured your soul to a rock. And this is why they say the rocks cry out. You were not meant to be here. You were not made to be under a rock. You were made to be in the water so that the water can remember you and release you, free you, bring you back to life. For them, it is not the same, but they are putting their ashes in your place. They are pretending they are mermaids. They are pretending all of the things you see them pretend. They got it from you first and gave you all of their curses and even dressed some of them up. And to this day, a lot of people who are your tethers and snakes are the main people who fill the churches. Most churches are filled with nothing more than the people they brought from the desert. As a collective, why do you think your serpentines love to be in spaces where they have no gifts, but they're always watching you use yours? Your gifts heal them. But not only do your gifts heal them, it fuels their anger. They have to be in your midst. You are their healing. And when it's time to realize they're your tethers or your snakes, you are their hell. You are their order in chaos, and it is chaos they follow. It is chaos they seek to please. Look at how many people are still trying to tell you. Jesus said, the Bible said, the light, I'm the light, I'm the light, I'm the light. They're letting you know darkness repels them. So they run to something that has always shown them, we do not include you. We will never include you in our light because it's really a direct combat against your darkness. Why would it be inclusive in that? Again, most people consider things witchcraft. The things they're considering witchcraft are nothing more than people who are men in drag doing paganism practices, not tribal indigenous practices. Because people who are real tribal and indigenous would never share their real religion of origin and rituals with snakes and fakes on the internet. Real definition of you would have to go buy a burner phone to have some of the conversations in truth you will never be allowed to have around a tether. Why do you think they gave you black mirrors? Because they have put their electricity spark in it to where there's nothing you put in their black mirror they can't trace. Every thought you have, every location you go to, every person you come across in contact with, they can solve plenty of homicides if they wanted to, because black mirrors tell you their last location. They let you know who they was texting last, who they was getting freaky with, who they was looking up, who was the last person that wrote them on this app, where that person's IP address is. These black mirrors already solve the crimes themselves. They're not solving them because their goal is to use them against you. Your disappearance is their perfect crime. And they are getting away with disappearing you using black mirrors to track your every step, your every thought, and using those thoughts against you. Again, people cannot interfere with what they don't know about. There's no coven alive that would ever be a coven if you are not sacred. There's no woman alive who can consider herself sacred when her Uchi is all over the internet. When Smex she thinks is magic. When she thinks glamour is covering up your natural features and not understanding. Most of the creatures that use things that you consider to be makeup are creatures that have to mask their shifting. What are you shifting for if you don't have the power to shift everything in you to go into another element? Meaning, if you can't go into fire without burning, if you can't go into water on the deepest levels without drowning, if you can't ride waves, if you can't make the waves listen to you based on frequency, what are you doing? If you cannot attract things to you using your electromagnetic energy, if you not pick up things with your mind, if you cannot, yes, these are real gifts. But imagine when they are telling you time and time again, they put so much metals in your body that the electromagnetic charge you need to control the metals outside of your body has been decreased to near none, meaning you have to decrease certain metals in your body. The main metal that is in your body right now is mercury. Mercury is very heavy, but it's a dense heavy, a spiritual heavy. So most of you are full of mercury. Why? Because for the last, I believe, 10 years plus, They have been bombarding you with the thoughts that seafood boils and different things are what you need to consume. All seafood, depending on where they collect it from, has high levels of mercury. High levels of mercury. And what people don't understand is mercury absorbs into your tissue matter. Okay? Mercury absorbs into your tissue matter and it does not come out. The only way it would come out is if you were to remove that fat completely. But once it absorbs into the tissue, it starts absorbing into the bone. You cannot rid yourself of these things. Mercury is a metal that keeps you from being magnetically charged, meaning if you have enough mercury in your body, you will never have a magnetic charge enough to attract things to you. Do you guys remember a time where you could have um, a pin or a marble or something, and then you put it next to a safety pin or a magnet and it just attaches? Okay, for people who have the gift of magnetism, this was once your gift. They have made themselves magneto and have made you incognito, hidden. Okay, this is what they call it. This is why they call it that. So, again, you're welcome to join me as we talk about things like this because not only do you need to know this, it's going to help you see your tethers and your snakes in the dark, even when they don't know you're looking. You also need to learn how to remember your dreams. Your dreams are your higher aligned consciousness, letting you know that death is either near, on the way, or in your midst. Okay? And in your midst is much different than around you or coming. In your midst means every night you sleep, death is battling if it wants to take you or not, whether you are in peaceful spirits or not. A lot of you guys, that beating that you feel in your heart randomly when you think about death, okay, and many other things, okay, this is the reason why you can't perceive different things. Oh, how cute, dear. Why are you so worried about things that don't pertain to you? This is what I mean when I say things that are full of incorrect darkness are always worried about looking into your soul. Why? Because they're obsessed with pretending they understand how you feel when really they can't get past the surface level. It doesn't matter about what you see or what they see. They can't control light or darkness. Most of them don't exist. They are literally the thin line between love and hate, and its invisibility. Imagine how angry it makes people when they know your energy is seen. Not only is it seen, it's felt regardless of what you look like. It's felt regardless of what they want to feel like, they still have to consider you first. This comes with birthright, this comes with power. And again, they have confused you. They say people want the money and the power. The power came first. The money is the replica of mocking God because power is greater than anything they could ever give you. Again, everything they give you comes from the small bit of land they have been given and what they call resources. Most of those resources, they have to dry out the water around just to dig them up and regurgitate them as something new. If only you knew what was really beneath the water, you would be the only person able to get there and get it. You'd be the only person able to get swept away in a current and come back and tell your story about how you survived, what you saw, how different animals guided you, your connection, how different animals surrounded you because you're supposed to be there. They remember you. They remember your sounds. They remember your frequencies. They remember your rhythms. It is you who are scared of the rhythms. The real reason a lot of people are scared of the water is because they have forgotten where they come from. Again, people who have conjured you need you to forget you every generation. Every generation that you continue their lies is a generation in the real spiritual realm. You are forgotten. Your powers are forgotten. Your bloodlines are forgotten. The only thing remembered is your curses. They keep having you remember your curses that they have merged you with. Again, they're upset because your ancestors come to collect you from a place full of hell. And after you're collected, they are stuck here dealing with the hell they created and called a kingdom of heaven. For them, this is the place where they pretend we can do whatever we want. We get whatever we want because we're great, we're white, we're light, we're whatever. Again, as that lie begins to unravel itself, they are stuck looking at the fact that youth is forever with you. The child they tried to kill in you is forever with you, even if you have to put it away in the spiritual realm so that it's protected. It is always with you. By the time you get old enough to tap into that child, you realize that child is your elder. The child remembers everything you have forgotten. Whether you've forgotten it for survival instincts, whether you forgot it because you have replaced your memories with false thoughts and addictions, regardless, it is that child that becomes your elder. And in that child is your power. It is your youth of walking into a reality they cannot follow you in. Because once you walk in youth, as an adolescent, remembering who you are from a baby, nothing more than the mother is going to guide you through your understanding of darkness and not their darkness. Their darkness hates your light, but your darkness reminds them that they cannot permeate your light. No matter how hard they shine, you will always be the shadow at the end of their light they are shining. Every flashlight, the batteries go out. Okay? Every day the sun shines, I don't care how hard the sun shines, night still takes over to give you rest because nothing is greater than darkness. And the sun is a reminder that if there's a sun, there is a moon. And the sun is here to give you hell. The night is here to remind you of the rest that comes from darkness. Every day, people are busy because the devil is busy. Okay? When you live places that are busy cities and different places, those people have different energy than people who hit nothing more than crickets and hitting mosquitoes and different things. People who are from the water usually stay in places where if other people were to come from their deserts and come to where it is so humid, most of them don't survive long. It's so hard for people who are not from the water to survive down south in humid places. For them, it is a constant reminder that the water is treacherous to them. Oh God, mosquito bites. Oh, I'm clammy. Oh, I'm red. My skin's burning. Oh, depending on where you are, your roots always remind you you are from the water. They're always having to extra rain on you. Okay? They're always having to flood it. If they don't, you won't get enough energy for them to get abundance and flow from you. You know what I mean. You know the storms I'm talking about. You know they're man made, but you are used to being around water, and the more water that engulfs you and surrounds you, the more abundance flows to you. So if they put you in the place where the waters rise and you happen to be in them, just like that, they are creating portals. If only you knew, most of the people who are living in your portals originally, they've all been taken there. They tell you about Katrina, but what they won't tell you is that it was purposely done. And most of those people did not pass away from Katrina. Most of them were taken through the portals. The people who were left behind in Katrina were the tethers, which is why you don't hear many of them talk about Katrina. The people who could talk about it were taken through the portals. Real definition of certain history, you can't repeat it because you literally have to be there to see it. But the ones who were not made to be taken, they left behind and they were made a tragic fate. And that fate is all of the people they were there mimicking and merging with in bloodline were taken away from them. And they were left to breed with nothing more than the tethers, which is why none of those people really went back. What they do is adopt the history, but they spread themselves out among the rest of the nations here. Now you see a lot of those people in Memphis, in St. Louis, and other places. All of your crime rates went up when the tethers left New Orleans after the flood. And guess what? There are more floods coming, dear. For your sake, for those of you who are chosen, the floods are going to take away you, bring you through the portal, the only one that allows you to breathe, and them to drown. And that is water. Again, you can't be scared of the water because the water is the only thing you need to sustain life. I don't care what they say, how long you go without food, how long can you go without water? I don't care how dirty you get, what cleans the dirt off of your body. Okay, I don't care what you get into your eyes, what do they tell you to rinse your eyes out with? Okay. Okay? Water is everything to you. If you get a cut, how do you keep it clean? Why do they tell you to? Oh, when you get through, water is everything. You need water because it helps remind you they are dirty. Everything they produce is dirt to your water. And you are always using your water improperly because they never stop producing dirt and grime. They are the darkness. They are the dirt, the wrong type of grime. You are not. That is why your darkness cannot be wiped off. And theirs is never allowed to settle on the surface. You need to see things. And if you didn't know anything about the water, before there was land creatures that lied about what they are to you, you should first understand that bright colors are usually things that warn you to stay away. But imagine when they're giving you a word of telling you that light is right. Why do you think they keep giving you more light? Here's a television. Here's an iPad. Here are LED lights for your cars. Okay? Here's this, here's that. Okay? They are forever giving you light that does not matter, and it dims your real light. Makes sense? And it's okay if it doesn't. Again, for those who are divine, we are very much picking the surface because when your snakes are in your midst, your goal should always be to align right in their face, and you align by keeping what you need as gems to yourself. You do not give them your gems. When you connect different dots, you don't give it to them. You write it down and keep it for yourself. It is your power. It is your superpower. And if you don't give it to them, by the time you connect your dots and put it together and put it in fruition, you know what's going to happen? Nothing more than only the divine people will find you and connect. And when they connect with you, if they see tethers, they're going to say, yeah, your name says that you're from here. Yeah, this ain't about the Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, this ain't about no. When your true divine come together, you exclude all of the people who hide behind the white man's religion and the religions that certain people created to pretend they are not of the religions that they come from as a collective. Again, their darkness is not the same as yours. Their darkness is nothing more than a memory of hatred they have for you. So what they do in their darkness usually includes you being the base of their attacks. Again, only the spiritually divine are tapped so high in unison that your snakes gather to help the people attack you, who you are there to free. Again, you are in the midst of people who are your tethers and snakes, and they know that certain people have brought them here to smile in your face, act like they care for you, but this is why a lot of black people feel like they're still fighting for their civil rights. Of course you are. The tethers are not giving you those rights. They will never allow you to experience your birthright without them getting something. This is why if you talk about reparations, they want reparations. Okay? All of the countries and continents they come from, okay? All of them are struggling. All of them come from places that they have depleted in energy, in love, in growth, in opportunity. And the only time they get that back is after they come here, stump all over your roots, take your opportunities, take your spirit, take everything in your essence, and flow it back to themselves, and then disappear from here. Past that point, why are they here? All of the serpentines have gathered in one place. Are the people from India here? Are the people from Asia here? Are the Australians here? Are the Scottish and the Europeans, all of their people here? All of their allies here? Are the Africans here? We could go on and on. All of them are here. Every single last one of them are here. And they're letting you know they are mad that you are aligning and without them. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to have to admit that they only brought all of the other serpentines because they knew when you aligned to divinity, they could not follow you. In other words, we need as much firepower as we can to attack them from getting to that water. That water is that truth. That water is their flow. Their water is their abundance. They know who you are. They've always known who you are, which is why they will all gather in unison to attack the very small collective of you that are left. Even if you're in your lowest form, they know that you have not been given the power to charge up which is why when they realize you are aligning, the real tax will begin. And you're not ready for them. You're not strong enough in language. You're not strong enough in your darkness. I'm going to say this again. You have to go into the darkness to recharge your real light and overshadow their false light. If you're scared of your darkness, if you're scared to go sit in a dark room and different things, again, the things that roam your darkness are nothing more than things you cannot see anymore. And the fact that you cannot see them but you feel them there, that is what scares you. This is what makes you have a fear of your darkness. You have been programmed against darkness, even if you are dark, even if you are nothing more than an embodiment of greatness. Your darkness is the only reason why they will allow you to have the spotlight on their behalf. If it is not your darkness entertaining them, if you are not winning awards and trophies and medals in their name, if you are not getting awards for their perverted knowledge, they do not like you. They do not want to see you have knowledge that they cannot process. So again, we are going to help you understand why serpentines and people who are obsessed with the water, but they come from the desert. Okay, genetics play a very big role in helping you understand who comes from what, and different people who are Seminolas and different things, they different have different hair textures than people who are from the desert. Your hair textures are important, but the difference in them is your porosity. It is the only thing that matters. Can you absorb water or can you not? If you are a low porosity, okay, most of the time the reason why the water is not permeating for you to your scalp and your hair is because you need fire for it to absorb. And it's for a good reason, because most of the water around you is contaminated and your follicles itself are letting you know, no, we won't receive this unless we get permission through the fire to receive this water. And it is different. People who have higher porosity, a lot of them have created that porosity by destroying, damaging, jerking, brushing, smoothing out, texturizing, all of the things that make them able to withstand um, tainted waters. Okay, that's why when they get in certain waters, it doesn't protect them because they have lost their protection. Again, you cannot transfer energy if you don't have your antennas out, especially as a woman. For men, your energy would transfer through your locks because you are masculine enough to receive and your energy is heavier, it's dense. So for women, if you are able to get dreadlocks at a young age, you have the strongest masculine energy that there ever is. And that is not a good thing. That is not dark feminine. If your edges beseech thee, you are also of the snake tribe, especially if you are not over the age of 70. Again, heads full of hair help you understand who are your tribes, who are not. Because again, the universe will always snatch the edges of your tethers. And what they are covering is that their crown has been unanointed. It is no longer anointed. It no longer holds the antennas it needs to process the water or the fire. It is simply gone. They are a blank palette. Nothing grows there. They are empty. They are desolate. Again, this is not alopecia. This is not anything. A lot of people talk about alopecia. They won't admit they damage their hair with perms and texturizers and stressful styles and high tension hairstyles. They have snatched their own edges from hating themselves, hating their own darkness, hating their froze. Okay? You go to and fro. You are supposed to go to and fro. And your fro helps you do it. Again, stop calling yourself Afro Latinas and Afro whatever you think you are when the last thing showing is your afros. You are not who you say you are. You are the sheeps. You are the sheeps, happy to be herded into a corner. And for the rest of those people, they are looking for the wolves because they know only following you will get them away from the stubborn goat that seeks to keep them as sheep. But most of them are willing sheep. Never forget that. Only people who understand you are made to be immortal. In order to be immortal, you have to reverse your understanding of what they call to be morals. Again, it is not your morals, it is your morale. Not only is it your morale, okay, you have to understand, your morale ties directly to your darkness. So how you feel in your darkness is the thing that's going to permeate through your light. What do you really feel? Do you feel embarrassment? Do you feel happy? Do you feel sad? Do you feel majestic? Do you feel disappointed? Do you feel depressed? What do you feel when you are alone? Be honest with yourself. Come back soon. For those of you who struggle with different emotions that are not yours, I will teach you how to process these emotions through your mental energy, through your ancestral energy, and not through your humane energy. Once you process things through your humane energy, you no longer become a god. You rest in your humaneness. And again, energy was made to be processed on a higher level, depending on if you are the chaos or if you are the order in chaos. Again, in a world full of worship and praise for light, the only thing that would bring order to chaos of his light would be darkness. So again, be okay with being the darkness. Stop following people who pretend they are the dark ones or people who pretend they are dark feminine. Dark feminine comes from a place of you are not oversharing with your snakes and your fakes and your tethers. If anything, you are aligning with your divine energies of protection and you are hyping them. You are letting your tethers and your snakes know we will only hype each other. We will only invite each other in our spaces. You are not welcome here. I don't care how much you say love and greetings from such and such. When you get through, go to these places, visit them. Watch what they do when they come to your land. They never include you. They never will. They want to stand in your place. You cannot include your tethers and your snakes on your spiritual growth journey. You have to leave them behind. And how do you leave them behind? You always, okay, get them out of your mind and just in time. Not only that, understand that the people who try to stay on your radar and in your attention span 24/7, they are also your snakes who are standing in the place of your chosen gifted. Stop giving fake gifted and the fake exalted by his kingdom praise. The ones in your kingdom who are gifted are the only people who their artistry and gifts you will hear, see, and feel and heal your frequencies. Listen to their stories, listen to their art, not with your eyes or your ears, but with your nervous system. Let things move you in a way that the vibrations lift you, that they contribute to your higher alignment and senses. Again, you are here to evolve. Everything evolves. And after it evolves to its highest peak, it is allowed rest. Death comes to collect it at its highest peak, allows it rest, allow it to get back to the earth and the water, and then it returns anew after it has gone through the phase of life. Something is stopping you from going through the phase of life. Okay? They say the circle of life. It's not supposed to be a circle of life. Okay? It's not supposed to be a circle of life. It is a circle of evolvement. It is a circle of death. Death means you're being reborn into something new. Life means you're being born over and over again as a baby that knows nothing. So who really are you in essence? A child. They have you growing in age. Most of y'all are Benjamin Button, children, but the faces of old, aging quickly. Okay, so for those who have the curse worse than you, they're the main people who need plastic surgery and all the things that came with being gods. But you are not using plastic surgery to change your appearance. You are using plastic surgery to change your alignment. Yes, indeed. Okay, so we'll talk about it. Again, I hope those of you who come into the darkness with good intentions learn how to be quiet about your growth. But for those who are forever your tethers, understand when you come here and you have indigenous divine conversations, watch how quick your tethers and snakes ride the wind against what you're saying, as if you knowing the truth hurts them. You knowing the truth is taking them out of theirs. Why? Because their truth is a lie. What they need is to adopt your truth. And the more truth you align with, the more your snakes attack you. If snakes are not attacking you, it's because you're living a lie and a comfortable one. Snakes only attack things that are certain of themselves, and they do so when you're not expecting them to. So, we'll talk more about this. And again, trust the fact that your ancestors make sure that some of you don't have to do much work. All you have to do is get out of the way. Again, don't let your own ego keep you from making room for your abundance because everyone you're talking to, everyone you're seeing is not human. Never forget that. I hope you guys have a beautiful darkness. I will see you guys soon.